Okay, this is going to be my Yakgadget Mount motor rudder swap. Before that used to take probably 10 minutes or so. I had to come up here and undo these bolts out of the handles to get the handle and the mount off and disconnect that. And then to put the handle back on, you had to have shorter bolts because it didn't have the space of this these arm adapters there, so it required at least 2 sets of bolts. Actually required an Allen wrench and a Phillips head, because the other bolts are Phillips head that come factory. But I could have fixed that, just never did. Got the 2 of the same type of bolts, but you still needed a spacer, still needed to undo things, still needed tools. So I set out to do a toolless motor rudder swap, and that's what this video is going to be. Just a little background, a little quick setup of what I've got my motor, so you can see how I did my rudder when we do the swap here in just a moment. So first, the motor. It's a water snake. It's a remote control. I'll show you that in a minute here, just for kicks. I've got a V steering setup, a DIY V steering setup here. That's just made from a fitting from Maker pipe. That's actually electrical EMT there, just covered with some heat shrink so it doesn't look like EMT. I've got some S-beaners to these eye bolts to connect the rudder line so I can steer with the factory foot steering. And then I've got this lift cable here to lift the motor out of the water. It runs all the way up the kayak here, and I've got this thing sitting on the trailer, but runs all the way up to the kayak to this Night Eyes cam cleat, so I can pull it up and lock it into place as I need to raise, lower it for launch, that kind of thing, shallow water, all that good kind of stuff. So that's the motor, and that is what I needed to adapt the rudder to. And just for kicks, here's my remote for my rudder. If we back way up here, you can still see that motor running. You can probably hear that, I guess. You can probably see it. Kind of far away, but I did that on purpose. Stop. Go backwards. So we run both ways on that motor setup. So sweet as candy. My batteries are in there, plugged in there. So that's the motor setup. And so now I'm going to switch over to a tripod, and I'm going to attempt to swap this motor with a rudder in 10 seconds. Why 10 seconds? I don't know. Because it used to take me about 10 minutes. And so I'm going to try that, see if we can do it. I've never actually tried a quick swap. Just got back from testing the rudder, and it works awesome. So here we go. Move to the tripod. Okay, can't get the stopwatch on screen, doesn't look right, can't see it. So I'm just going to start it, stop it, and then show you at the end. Kind of talk my way through of what I'm doing. So here goes. 1, 2, 3. Start. All right, unplug the motor. Up here, get the deploy line out of the way. Unhook the steering line. Undo the motor. The motor is off. Gently lay it down. Over here to get the rudder. Get the rudder. Here comes the rudder. Come back. Put it on. Clamp it down. Hook the steering line. Hook the other steering line. And the deploy. Oh, the deploy line got tangled. And the deploy line. Run it up. And hook it. Ta-da! Okay. Didn't make it. 44 seconds. I don't know. Can we see that? 44 seconds. But let's see anybody else do it quicker. Okay, 44 seconds to swap from motor to rudder. I'm pleased as can be with that. So as you can see, instead of trying to figure a way to disconnect this mount and put the original rudder back on quicker than the way Yakgadget has designed it, I just designed a rudder to mimic my motor. So this is just PVC pipe, purple and gold, go Tigers. Just made the same V-steer type design. Just used a 90-degree elbow fitting. It's actually a 90-degree T-fitting. So it goes down to the lower rung. And put the same type eye bolts on there, set them at the same distance so my carabiners hook up to my steering lines just the same. And then a piece of yellow cutting board. So just cut that out into a rudder shape and split the PVC and put that cutting board in there, screwed it back together. So a rudder that mimics the trolling motor to fit onto the Yakgadget mount. So I'm sure that would do any mount. This motor mount piece is actually a water snake motor mount. I get those from a guy that builds the Hobie drop-ins, and so he just got a bunch of those motor mounts laying around he doesn't do anything with, I guess. So I guess he's happy to sell it. This is the second one I've bought, and I'll show you what my other one is used for in just a second. But there's the rudder motor swap, just the rudder that mimics the trolling motor design mounted onto the Yakgadget mount. Okay, and then finally for my second motor mount, and the third use I get out of my Yakgadget mount. As you can see, I've got just my hazards on right now, but on that Yakgadget mount I've made a stop tail turn light. You see they're flashing. All three functions work: stop, tail, and turn. Hanging off the back of the kayak that sticks so far out of the end of my trailer. But again, it is just a water snake motor mount, just mounted onto the Yakgadget mount, and then some PVC. So I got a PVC T, got a little shaft running down. It connects up just like the motor, connects up just like the rudder shaft, and then coming off of the T is more PVC. I just heat flatten them so I could mount these LED light bars onto there. But gives you a triple mileage out of your Yakgadget mount. So you've got the motor mount that everybody uses it for. Now there's a rudder design for easy rudder motor swap, and a stop, tail, turn light for the Trifecta. You know, I should have set a goal for myself for a 1 minute motor rudder swap. You know, I would have been successful, but man, instead of that 10 seconds, but 44 seconds. Man, you can just feel the good vibes from that.